Welcome to Arizona Barrio Stories on Latino USA TV. Thank you for being a part of this platform. Occasionally, we add more people to our familia. Sometimes we have people that are retired, have gone on to do things that maybe they weren't expecting to do once they retired. And today we're going to bring you somebody. But before we do that, we have a special message from attorney Francisco Gutierrez.
This segment brought to you by Gutierrez Law Firm.
Hola, mi gente. I'm attorney Francisco Gutierrez and a proud sponsor of Arizona Barrio Stories. I grew up in the Anat Barrio, and I've been practicing law now since 1984. Experience really does matter. If you've been injured by someone, call me. Let's talk.
Welcome back. Like I was saying, sometimes when we retire, we don't know what we're going to do next, and we still have those stories that we want to share. Today we have such a person. He's retired now, he's doing something different, but we want to know a little about what he used to do and a little bit more about him. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Rudy Dominguez.
Rudy, tell me, where did you grow up? Where are you from?
Well, I'm a Phoenix native. I was born and raised out here. I grew up in West Phoenix, 33rd Avenue in Buckeye, and I went to Carlin High School.
Did you go to Murphy School?
I did. It's no longer there, but yes, I did, 27th Avenue in Buckeye.
We have a lot of people on our platform that were reminiscing about the old Murphy, and they bring back some good stories tagged along with it.
Right. Yeah.
After you went to high school, what did you end up doing with your life? What was your career before you retired?
Right. It actually started in high school. In high school, I started taking law enforcement classes through Metro Tech, which was at 19th Avenue Thomas. I started taking law enforcement classes my junior year. So my senior year, I already kind of knew what I wanted to do. I also had a big influence. I was influenced by my brother, my oldest brother. He came out of the Marine Corps, and he became a Phoenix police officer. And I kind of followed in his footsteps.
Now, during that time period of your life, were your friends giving you flack, or were they supportive? Did you get flack from anybody? Because it seems like some people, when they frown upon the policeman in the family. Did you get flack?
Absolutely, yeah. Even to this day, it's unfortunate, but I got family and friends that, the majority of them, they embrace it. They give me a hug and, hey, treat me just like family and friend. But some of them won't even come around me. They're like, oh, he's a cop, and so they kind of they keep their distance from me. But especially large family functions.
When you finally became a policeman, what area did you cover?
When I came out of the academy in 1997, I went to Maryville. I requested, so when you graduate from the academy, or before you graduate, they asked you where you'd like to work. And being that I grew up out there, I wanted to go back. And so I requested to go to the Maryville precinct, and I was out in the Maryville precinct for 9 years.
Maryville seems to have gone through some transformations. I think I hear a lot of people say the world we're raising our kids in isn't the same world that we grew up in. The
Right.
things that we did as youth, we can no longer expect our kids to go through that, because it's a different world. Different areas of Phoenix have gone through a lot of transformation. What would you like to say about how you saw your Maryville area transform?
Well, when I first came out and started working the beat in Maryville, there were a lot of people that were homegrown. A lot of Chicanos from inner city, from the east side. When the airport bought out, and a lot of people went to the west side, to the John F. Long homes. There were a lot of homegrown Phoenix people, and then over time it started changing, evolving, and growing, and started getting a lot of people from out of state, a lot of California people, from just different states, and so it changed. The dynamics changed. Just the feeling of Maryville just changed. It become such a melting pot of all types of people, all walks of life. And it's just different now, and it's not the same Maryville it used to be.
I think also during the time that we grew up, you respected your teachers, you respected your parents, you followed whatever curfew, whatever the rules were of the house. And I think as the decades have come upon us, you don't see kids doing that anymore. So let's go into what have you seen as a policeman, the changes, and how would you like our audience to see what to do in situations?
Well, to me, I think the biggest change, I guess I can kind of define it as a letdown. And what I mean by that is this. I saw a lot of parents make excuses for their children as they were growing up. No, Mijo can't do that. Oh, no, he would never do that. Well, what parents need to understand is this. We are parents, they are children for a reason. We're their parent, and we're supposed to keep them on the right path and not make excuses for them, and understand that children do make mistakes. They make lots of mistakes because they're children. They're going to break things, they're going to mess things up, they're going to hurt people on accident or intentionally. Our job is to make sure we get them back on track, not make excuses for them, because it just creates kind of a monster thing, like, oh, I'm untouchable. My teacher can't tell me anything. The police can't tell me anything because my mom will, or my dad will protect me and let me, they'll cover for me, kind of thing. We have to get a lot more, I would say, a lot more strict with our children and hold them to higher expectations. No, you don't do this and you don't do that. And when you act a certain way, you will get punished, as opposed to making excuses for them. We cannot make excuses for our children because they grow up to be that type of adult. They're always looking for that out or that excuse. No, if we hold them accountable when they're little, they grow up that way, knowing that there's consequences and knowing there's a right and a wrong way.
So giving them boundaries.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do you think social media has contributed to, I don't want to call it a downfall, but the change, the evolution of the way children are today?
Absolutely, and I think that social media has become the educator for our children. They are learning almost everything on social media, not learning it from their parents, because one, most parents are working, don't have time, and then when they get home, a lot of parents are tired. Just leave them alone, just let them play on the phone or on the computer. So that's where they're getting their education from, and they're learning, whether it be good or bad, they're learning it from from other kids or there's predators, that actually, seek out vulnerable children on social media, and that's, there's detectives that actually even look into that kind of stuff, But back to your question is, absolutely, that's unfortunate. That's where most of our children are getting their education from.
Facebook, TikTok, whatever.
Right.
What do you want parents to know, or what are some signs they can look for, or along that line of how to help their children?
Well, I say this from personal experience. My children, growing up, were always thought I was very strict, because what I would do is, my job is to be responsible for you, whether you're at home or you're at school. And what I would normally do, and to this day, I still do it with my 10-year-old, is I'll grab his backpack. As soon as he comes in the door, let me see your backpack. Can you go through it? What's in there? What are you writing? What did you bring home? What are you taking to school? We need to know those kind of things. Not just that, well, it's his backpack or her backpack. No, what do you, like, if there's doodling, how do you have time to be doodling and doing things and writing things? You should be paying attention at school. When did you have time to do this? It kind of gives us an idea of what is our kid up to. And if you don't know what's in your kid's backpack, how do you even know what's going on in their lives? So you have every right. Same thing with their bedroom. Fortunately, as parents, we still have the right to go into our child's room at any time and figure out, what are they doing, what's in there, what are they watching, who are they sneaking anybody in. We need to know all that.
Who are your friends?
Who are your friends? Yeah, and more than anything, what are you hiding in there? Because there's so much you can hide in a room, in a backpack, especially if your parents don't even start by looking in your backpack. And my
homework.
children.
There's homework. How come this homework isn't done?
Exactly. This is from last month. And it's our fault. It's our fault if they're failing, because we're not taking that extra 10 minutes to do that. Just toss their backpack, go through it, and figure out what they're doing. This, you don't need this, you don't need that. And I tell you that from personal experience. I remember my son would take the car magazines to school. I'm like, what are you taking this to school? And you're supposed to be going to school to learn, at school, not your car magazines. So, it's little things like that that you find in their backpacks that, can turn them around and get them going in the right direction.
And keeping communication with the teacher. I would think.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's another thing is that personally, I would go to school and talk to the teacher and say, hey, my child needs to be disciplined, and if they get out of line, please call me. And you do what you need to do to run your class successfully, responsibly with all the other kids, because this is in his class, this is your class. And if you need my help, I support you 100%.
What would you like parents to know, or even children to know? What are their rights? I mean, would a kid say to a parent, you can't go in my bedroom, you can't go in my backpack? Say what you said. I want you to re-emphasize that.
Absolutely, 100%, because what they don't understand is, okay, that's your backpack, you're right, but I can go through it because I'm your parent and I'm responsible. Same thing is if that same child goes out and say they break something, say they go to a store, who's going to pay for it? The adult pays for it, not the child. So every bad thing you do, I have to pay for, and that's what you need to understand. I'm not looking to infringe on your rights. I'm looking to make sure you're not doing anything bad, and that's my job. And if I'm not doing that, that's shame on me. I'm a bad parent. I need to be in my child's life 100% every single day.
When I taught, I would have parents that would come to me, and they would give that sense that they were fearful of their children. Right. They were afraid to approach their children, to talk to them, to discipline them. And I thank you for saying what you said. I mean, that's, I think, been a transformation that I was really surprised to see right before I retired. So thank you for stating
Absolutely.
that. We hope you are able to join us again, and we'll hit another topic. But thank you for your years of service. What is it you're doing today?
Currently, I'm a private investigator. I'm self-employed. I'm a private investigator. I work different types of cases. I do personal security as well, and as a PI, mostly PI work. But it's a lot of fun. So I still get to do investigations. All types of investigations, from wrongful death cases to cheating spouses. Unfortunately, there's a lot.
That could be on our next
It's
show.
like a novela. It's different, but it's a lot of fun, and I get to involve my family. My family gets to help me with a lot of things, and so it's nice because my world is now built around my family, and I get to include them in everything I do.
I want to thank you for being part of today's show, and hopefully you'll bring us another novela when you come back next time.
Absolutely. Just give me a holler. I'll be here.
This is Irma from Arizona Barrio Stories and Latino USA. Do not be afraid of your children. You are there to guide them along their journey. You are there to help them. Hopefully, maybe your children are watching this too. Thank you for being a part of this platform, and as usual, we will see you soon.